Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make online learning more engaging. By the end of this video, you'll learn how to make online learning that achieves your training goals. By the end of this video, you'll learn one simple way to get your learners engaged. You'll gain insight on how to ensure that your online learning is effective and fun. You'll understand the #1 way to increase learner performance. Then I'll share a story about when you use all these techniques, how your learners, even if they said they weren't going to engage, might engage even more than you expect. Your first tip to make online learning more engaging is to be live. If at all possible in your online learning, have live instruction, not just video and some kind of other test in the end. Have live instructors so you can respond to your learners immediately, that you can have vibrant discussions about how to apply this. And sometimes you'll even learn new techniques from the learners themselves about how to do something even better. The next tip on how to make online learning more engaging is to test. Make sure you test for your results. #1, it's going to make sure that your training is effective. #2, it can be fun, it can be competitive, it can show different ways to engage with the audience and make sure that you know that they learn the things that you just taught them. You can use fun tools such as Kahoot, or even just use the built-in polling and find out how many people are getting it right. You can add trick questions sometimes too, to just see if people are paying attention or not. But through the use of testing, it's one key way you can have statistics at the end to show how effective your online learning is at the end. Another way to use testing to create more engagement with online learning is to give incentives. I know they're small. It could be a prize, could even be small things like a star, an emoji, whatever it might be. Many learners do respond to an incentive system in the testing with that. And so with testing and incentives, they'll pay more attention or they'll engage more with your training if they know that they will be rewarded for it in the future. The next tip to make your online learning more engaging is to do something. Look for experiential or learn by doing activities that you can have. In an innovation class that I have, we do a that experiment where you have 9 dots and you try and connect them with 4 lines. It's a great think out of the box exercise. But I always take it another step further, which is I ask them now, can they connect all 9 dots in one line? And one of the ways you can do that is by folding all of the dots together and sticking a pencil, for instance, as the line through all 9 dots. By doing this, the learners really understand what innovation is and how that thinking differently is one of the keys to innovation. In another learner exercise that we had a company that stacked pallets of different kind of drinks together. They actually printed 3-dimensional blocks that represented the different kind of elements they stick on a pallet. And what they were able to do is show that after just doing training inside of the classroom with these small 3D printed items, they were actually packing the trucks 50% fuller and having 50% less accidents because of the online learning that they did before they actually did it in the real world. By doing something, it's one of the best ways to engage learners so they really learn the distinctions of what you're trying to train them. If you're engaged with this material and you're learning something new, hey, will you do us a favor? Just hit the like button and let us know. Thanks so much for that. The next way to make your online learning more engaging is to debrief. In other words, after every exercise or part that you learn, make sure and talk to the audience and find out what they retained. See what questions they have. Research shows that by using debrief after online learning is one of the key ways to get your learners to really digest the material and learn the material. So debriefing can be as simple as asking some questions about what happened in that section. So what did you learn? What will you do differently after learning this material? In one piece of research about online learning, it showed that debriefing was a key skill that not only allowed people to learn up to the level of the class, but learn even more after the class if they're able to use debriefing while they applied the learning. So it's important to include debriefing as part of your online learning experience if you want the maximum value from it. So to make your online learning even more engaging, here's a unique tip. You need to create psychological safety in your online learning. Well, what does that mean? Psychological safety is defined as that you feel safe taking a risk in front of your other teammates or groups that you're learning with. This research came from Google. They actually had a project called Google Aristotle. They did 18 months of research looking for their highest performing teams and the highest performing learning displayed by these teams. And what they discovered that it wasn't the offices they gave them, the composition of the team, even the leader of the team, or what equipment they gave them. But what they did find is that psychological safety was the #1 factor that was in common with their high-performing teams. Here are some simple things that you can do to create psychological safety in your online learning. You can welcome people as they come on. You can make it safe for them to ask any question, even if it quote-unquote might look like a stupid question. Right? Make sure that it is okay for them to ask these questions at any time during their course. Make sure your online learners can give any kind of feedback along the way too, so that they feel safe in learning the material, maybe even getting it wrong at the point, with the key goal of making sure that they get it right by the end. So here's a story of what happens when your online learning is engaging. In this course, we had a student, her name was Yoshi. And when Yoshi got into the meeting, she would say, Mr. Chen, I just wanted to let you know that I'm here as part of the class, but I won't be chatting and I won't be talking during any of the class. Thank you. And I said, oh, okay, Yoshi, so that's fine by me. So that's part of that safety part, is just accepting what she said and making sure that was okay with her. Of course, 10 minutes into the class, there's a chat, and the chat's from Yoshi. And I even made sure I didn't say anything about it, but I did notice it. The next thing is that 20 minutes later into the class, she unmutes her mic and now says something as part of the class. And of course, this is a person who said that she wasn't going to do any of these things. Later on, there's an exercise to show how teams can collaborate using shared documents. And what I asked the students to do in a breakout room of about 6 to 8 people is to write a poem about what they learned. When we came back from the breakout rooms, she had written 75% of the lines in that breakout group's poem while there was 8 people. So I asked her, I said, Yoshi, why did you write so many lines in this poetry exercise? And she goes, oh, Mr. Chen, thank you so much. Poetry, I'm very passionate. It's my jam. It's something I'm very passionate about. I just got excited and I wrote all the lines. So here's a great example of using exercises, making sure she was psychologically safe, and finding a way to make the online training so engaging that this person, even though they verbally said they didn't want to do any of these things, that they end up doing them anyways because they felt so engaged in the class. If this video has been helpful and you want to have more success, you want to take it further, you want to have things like Yoshi in your class, well then I got a free gift for you. Normally I have a masterclass that people pay $100 or more for, but I'm going to give it to you for free. When you complete the 6 steps to more engaging virtual meetings, you have people like Yoshi who will start to engage in your class. You might even have people who turn on cameras when you don't even ask them to. And most of all, you might have people complain and say, your class is too engaging because I wanted to multitask during this class and I was only paying attention to you. Make sure you get access to this class. Make sure and click the link right there in the description so that you can get these results in your next online learning.